Hey, okay, I'm Griffo. Thank you for stopping by Griffo Media. Now, in a previous tech video, I was trying to get really good Wi-Fi speeds with the BT Smart Hub 2 with the discs. And we get about 900 meg into the property, hardwired Ethernet into the Smart Hub 2, which is that one. We get about 950 meg, not too shabby. The problem arises when you try to go wireless. And in that previous video, which I'll link in the description, we were getting wireless from that about 450 meg. Now, the white discs have served a purpose for the last 10-ish years. I've got 6 of them. We were getting speeds next to the router of around, what was it, 420-ish. In my studio, hard routed into my Mac Mini, probably about 350. Everywhere else, lucky to get about 150 meg. So some wise person from BTEE came and checked out why we were getting such average speeds. And that's what they recommended I buy. And in that previous video, I bought 6 of the black discs, which were a part of the BT Complete Wi-Fi. And they were, oh my goodness, so poor. You have a look at that video. So we're dropping in other rooms from about 150 to about 25, 30 meg with them. You know, same kind of environment, same disc placement, all of that. So Black Friday's just been. I pressed go on the Orbi Series 7, and I tell you what, that was amazing for about 3 hours, right? I was getting speeds next to the router of about 890 meg. Just have a look at that thumbnail up there. Not bad at all. And then in the living room, which is the nearest to the main router, I was getting about 650 meg. It was brilliant, but the satellites that I bought were not reliable. They kept on disconnecting. Picture of the kit I've got just there. Have a look. So back to basics, back to square one. What are we going to do next? So obviously I've been on the forums asking people's advice. I know a tech guy called Will who advised that I get this kit here, the Eero Pro 6E. Now the Orbi kit was just the router 6. And so I bought, how many of these? 5, because we live in quite a large property. So it's set up. There it is. This top's a bit battered. It's years old. But anyway, this is the Eero Pro 6E. And I tell you what, it's been great so far. So let me just tell you how things are with this, and I'll show you exactly where we've got them dotted around. So we'll do a speed test first of all on this, hardwired. And that's not bad at all, is it? Have a look at that. Yeah, we're getting about the 950 mark. Not bad at all. And the good thing about the app is you can see what you're getting in off the wall as well, because it does a speed check as it reaches your property. Sometimes I'm getting about 980. So let's do a wireless test on this. I'll just get my iPad and we'll have a crack. Right, I'm not going to do the speed test on my iPad because my iPad is older than my iPhone. So I've just done a speed test on the Eero there, and you can see we're rocking about 700 meg on the first test. So I'm just going to hit go again and see what we get up to this time. Bottlenecking a little bit there around the 650. Here we go, up to the 7 again. I think the best I've had is about 740, which in fairness on wireless is not bad. Let's do a third test just to see how we go. Always going to get a drop, aren't we? But look at that. That's not bad, actually. We'll take that as a final test. 780 on the Eero 6E Pro. So that is router number 1. That is the main router coming into the house. And so what we'll do now is go to the next closest router. They're all routers, these, by the way. They're not satellites. They're all the same. They've all got 2 Ethernet ports on the back. One of them is a 1 gig and the other one is a 2.5. And so they're all the same. They're all main routers. So let's go to the nearest next, which is in the living room. So I may have said there were 5 of these. There's actually the main router and 5, in total 6. This is Eero 2 of the 6, which is probably located about 10 meters away from the main router and not situated in the best location, in fairness. Pretty similar to a previous video, the BT disc was kind of sitting here. And the reason it's here is because the main Sky queue comes in at this point. So I hardwire it into the Eero, which gives us a good head start on the rest of the property in terms of I've got 4 mini boxes dotted around for Sky Q, and a couple of them are hard wired in, which gives us quite a bit of strength around the house, and then we don't get too many dropouts. But anyway, this is Eero 2, and already did the first speed test on that. It was coming in at 500 meg, which is not too shabby. Let's go again and see what we get this time. A little bit higher by the look of it. Now we're into the 6s. Pretty impressive, 610. Bearing in mind, this is not the main router. This is theoretically a satellite off the main router. It's the distance between the Eero and the speed test. I think we can firmly say we're getting around the 600 meg. I'll do one more just for the heck of it. And then we'll move on to the studio, which is located just below where I'm stood. So the distance between Eeros is probably 3 or 4 meters. And that one's hardwired into my studio PC, which will probably give us, hopefully, similar speeds to that, maybe slightly lower, because it's going to be the 3rd Eero. Anyway, 620, happy with that. Let's move on. Right, and we move to the studio. This is Eero 3, and in a previous video, I tested the BT Home Wi-Fi Complete, and the white disc was pulling down about 170 wireless, and then Ethernet off the back of that disc, we were getting about the 350-ish mark. I'm hoping for more. You never know with these things, though, do you, when it's wireless? But anyway, that's what we're pulling in at the moment on my phone in terms of Wi-Fi. Let's do another speed test on that. Bit higher this time by the look of it, around the 300, 290. Let's do one more. Oh yes, all right, not bad actually. Wi-Fi. This is obviously situated below the living room where we've just been. So if you take into consideration the floors, probably about 3 meters away, probably a little bit more. Right, let's move on to Ethernet. And that was the first test I did, 350, which I was a little bit disappointed by. I'm not going to lie, because usually I get a lot more in here. Obviously, conditions, it's the middle of the day. There's no kids in the house. There's no streaming going on. So I don't know why it's behaving so poorly. And again, not the greatest. 340. Let's do another couple on this one. A little bit higher, pushing up now into the 400s. Sorry about the condition of the screen. If I told you why it's so dirty, it is because I do voice work in here with a microphone and stuff, and yes, I think you know the rest. Anyway, we're getting 400-ish, I think. It's a bit up and down, isn't it? I mean, it goes to 4 and then absolutely takes a complete drop off. Let's just do one more. Yeah, do you know what? It's a little bit disappointing, is that? And what we'll do next is we'll move on to the next closest to here, and that's probably right in the center of the house, and that'll be my daughter's bedroom. And here is Eero number 4 in my daughter's bedroom. I'm not going to lie, I was really disappointed by the studio hardwired, because generally, honestly, I get about 550 in there. First, on this one today, it's getting in at around 320. Bearing in mind this is wireless, but it is Ethernet onto Sky Q Mini. And look at that, that's pretty impressive. That's bang central in the house, probably about 7 or 8 meters away from the main router. Pretty similar, actually, distance-wise to the living room. And of course, the speeds absolutely fluctuate, as you can tell. Because as you saw in the studio, it was a bit up and down, especially over Ethernet. But here, generally, it's about the 400 meg. Let's be honest, you know, do you need more than that for streaming, even 4K? Probably not. This will be the final test we do in here. Not bad at all. Let's move next door. Probably in terms of distance between routers, about 1.5 meters. So here we are, Eero number 5, which is about 1.5 meters away, bedroom of my son, and here we go. So that was the first speed test today, and that was 310. Let's do another one here. You ever tried filming on an iPad? It's so annoying. Yeah, but we're around the 300 mark in here, which is not too shabby, actually, wirelessly. One of the furthest points away from the actual main router. It's dropped a little bit from the first test. and a little bit higher this time. We'll do one more after this. The fluctuation is just a bit annoying, to be fair. You know, 1 minute you're at 300, then you're dropping, look, by 100 meg. Some people don't even get that, do they? Let's do one more. I have to say, on a good day in here, probably similar to my daughter's room, around the 350 mark. And probably going to push to that now, I think. There you go, 330, not bad. Final one is in the kitchen, and that is the furthest point away from the actual main router. So let's see what we do down there. And here we are with Eero number 6, which is situated inside a kitchen cupboard, which is not ideal location, but actually the main router used to come in here. We're getting 200 meg already on this one, so not too shabby. It's only supplying a couple of things, as you can see in here. There's a smart meter, which I've shoved to one side, and the like. The camera's so poor on here, you can't even see what it's picking up. There it is, 280. It's gone up a little bit. Goodness me, this iPad's a little bit dated. That's why I didn't take the Wi-Fi off it, because you can't really trust the Wi-Fi readings off it. 190, let's do a couple more. But actually, for something locked away in a kitchen cupboard, it's actually not doing bad speeds, is it? Look at that. Usually in the kitchen, we're getting about 350, 400 meg, so I'm happy with that. We'll do one more. I bet it'll drop this time. Either that or it'll go up. Either one or the other. It's never going to be the same, is it? But kitchen cupboard, you know, I think the general thing with this is that, yeah, massive, massive improvement on the BT Whole Home Complete, or whatever they want to call it. Glad I've switched to doing a mesh system. The Orbi was giving me so much better speeds. However, I've got to say with the Orbi, the satellites were just not reliable. So the Eero 6E Pro gets the thumbs up from Griffo Media, and we're getting solid, and I've had this now for 2 weeks, not one dropout, solid coverage of Wi-Fi. It's full bars everywhere and fast speeds just about everywhere, and we live in a really large property. So that's brilliant news. Eero gets the thumbs up. Comments below, guys. I'll try and answer all the questions you ask, but I highly recommend this one. It's a good product.
GrifoMedia.com